Oh, hey! Arthur Smith isn't on the train, he's home! That's where Arthur Smith is, everybody. After this, we've got the take me out portion. Not like it? Beautiful, beautiful. Who is ready to go home? None of you? Yeah, absolutely. Living it. Right, here's what's going to happen. Arthur Smith was your headliner, but Arthur Smith had to go home for the train early. I should have been in Arthur Smith's slot. He's still taking his headline fee, just so you know. Old Arthur Smith. Anyway, here's what's going to happen. We are going to get it going. We're going to get the energy going. I'm going to do a 25-minute set in 9 minutes. Because that's where we've got to get out of here. Because this turns into a 1940s swingers pantry. With this beautiful, beautiful hall and area. So here's what's going to happen. Everybody, get up out of your seats. Stand up out of your seats. Get up out of your seats. Everybody, hey, get up. Get your hands in the air. Everybody go, woo! Sit down. 2 seconds, bear with me. Standing ovation tonight after the headlines. Yes. So, I have done, what a day. I've done, this is my second show of the day. This morning, I kicked off the morning with a 10:30 a.m. charity cabaret show in West Bromwich. I'm sure we can all agree, if anything screams cabaret, it's a 10:30 a.m. charity show in West Bromwich. I was the second act on, and we all get this, we all had 10 minutes to do our shtick, yeah? And the first act was billed, I've got to get it right, they were billed as a modern, interpretive, visual storyteller, okay? They went by the name of Dandelion. I thought, get a friend called Burdock, the black. This was all Dandelion did for 10 minutes. So please welcome to the stage, Dandelion. Earth, air, fire, feminism. Thank you. And off they went, and then it was me! And it was the comedy. It went exactly how you think that show went. And what happened. I love doing this all over. We've got 6.5 minutes to get all this in. We will start the show in a minute. I love doing this though. Everybody says I love doing it. And the show that I do, okay, forgive the ego with this, forgive the ego. The show that I do, my hour show that I tour around, was nominated for the People's Choice Award at the Leicester Comedy Festival this year. You're right not to applaud because the key word in that sentence was nominated. And to be nominated but not win is sort of like being told your girlfriend's pregnant but you're not the father. I have mixed feelings about the whole event now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I read a fact today. I was doing the whole scrolling thing, and I just want to say this before we actually get going, or get leaving as the time is moving on. This is the fact, okay? Did you know that every year 7 people die from snail attacks? I'm curious, how bedbound or high do you have to be to die from a snail attack? What happened to your friend? I don't know, it all happened so slowly, really. Damn thing just kept coming and coming and coming and coming. It was crazy, oh my God. Here's why I love you all. You're still here, you're out the house. Have we all checked in so we're out the house? Yeah, you've told everybody you're out the house, took all the pictures, you're out the house. So by the time you get back to your house, everything has been taken from your house. This is a lovely way we do things, isn't it? But I love you all. Do you know why I love each and every one of you? None of you are at home watching the news. This is an amazing thing in today's that you will find nobody more anti-news and media than me, because I've sussed them out. I've sussed out a 30-minute news show. Next time you watch it, this is what they do. 30 minutes. For 29 minutes, war, disease, horror, famine. And then for 1 minute, they give you a light-hearted fluff piece, so you don't go and commit carry. This is a real piece of news that I saw a few years back on Sky News, okay? This is how it went. This is how it went. Mark Austin here on the beaches of Dover with the 400 fleeing refugee children. These children have no food. They have no shelter. They have no hope. In the news, a woman from Stoke-on-Trent has found a kitchen sponge she lost 33 years ago. That's and the giant children right after this. So that punchline was slightly intervened by the man who we know does not donate to any charity at all and has a good old laugh when he sees them on the street. Hey, you're homeless. Anyway, moving very, very swiftly on. You've got to tune into some news though. I do love some news. My favourite piece of news, I love a good shark attack victim. I really thoroughly enjoy a good shark attack victim. It's always in Australia, obviously, and this is how a shark attack victim plays out. If it's not the idiots reporting the news, it's the idiots they're interviewing on the news. This is how a shark attack victim goes. They cut to Australia. They go, crikey, we're down here at Byron Bay with Ben Meadows. And last week, Ben Meadows survived a shark attack in the open water. Cut to Ben Meadows. No face, club feet. They go, Ben Meadows, last week, after nearly dying in the open water and being brutally mauled by 4 great white sharks in the open water, Ben Meadows, tell us, when you're all better, what's the one thing you can't wait to do? Oh, I can't wait to get back in the water. No, Ben Meadows! Get a paddling pool, go to Splash Mountain. Do not go back in the water. There's one thing I love more than a shark attack victim, it's this. I love a good, solid local death. I enjoy a local death in the community, more specifically a good murder, because it brings the people together. A good murder in a cul-de-sac, it does bring people together, doesn't it? A good candlelit vigil, you know, everyone. But there's always, next time there's a murder, hopefully there's not here, because this is the town from what I can see. You're all here. Next time you see a candlelit vigil, there's always one person who's just after a bit of fame, and she lights the candle, she steps back and the news go, oh, how did you know the deceased? And she says, oh, Jesus Christ. I heard a shot at the same Tesco. Get out of it. Now, I love a good little murder. Because the news try and be more clever than they actually are, aren't they? They try and be all CSI, and the news go in, and they ask neighbours, friends and family what they thought of Barry, who bludgeoned poor Sharon to death. And it turns out, in hindsight, neighbours, friends and family never liked Barry, but they never said a word to Sharon, did they? They go in, what did you think to Barry, who bludgeoned Sharon? Oh, well, you know, we had a funny feeling about him from the start. They're always Welsh, these neighbours. No matter where the murder has taken place in the country, these neighbours who are interviewed are always Welsh. Interviewed on a Monday morning, going to Steve's News and Booze in a dressing gown. You know, I had heard that he had murdered 4 of his past 3 girlfriends. So I said to Mafanway, I said, you know what? Shannon's happy! So why not let bygones be bygones, really? Well, I hope you said bye, because she's gone now. Anyway. Social media and the news, it's too much. Too much. Social media. I'm done with social media. It's too, it's not good for your health. And I was thinking, what if social media would have been around years before? How would we have used it generations before? Imagine it during the war. You know, our boys are in the trenches. They take a brief respite. Instead of checking their ammo, they check Facebook. They scroll through. They go, oh my God, Kenneth, come here. Do you remember? Come here, do you remember Stuart from boarding school? Yeah, I do. Well, look at this. He's live streaming from the beaches of Normandy. Look at that. Look at me, he was live streaming from the beaches of Normandy. Give that one a sad gif. Little good conspiracy. Somebody mentioned conspiracies earlier in this 7-hour night. And it was about 5 o'clock when somebody mentioned conspiracy theories. Loves me a good conspiracy theory, I do. I watched one a couple of days ago, but I like it when the conspiracy theorists get out the basement and they're interviewed on the news. Because the election stuff has stopped now, and there was one, and he went on, and he said this, he said to the host, CNN, he went, you know, there are things that the government is not telling us. My God, man, like what? We don't know. That's how we know. Thank you, Sherlock. Thank you. I was watching, one of my favourite programmes when I was growing up was the conspiracy, Channel 5 did a really rubbish conspiracy one, and it's got a bit of traction again, because it's rethinking up on YouTube. So you can go and have a look. It's about this lady who saw aliens in Birmingham, in Shirley, okay? 125. She was in a field, and if you notice about alien people, they don't just interview them, they get them out back in the area, didn't they? Well, this is what she said. She was in the field in a wedding, and she said, I looked up and I saw bright lights in the sky, heading in a that-away direction. Thank you. I understand. Could you go into any more detail? Yes, I can. As I say, I looked up and there were bright lights in the sky, heading that-away towards Birmingham Airport. Do you think it may have been a plane? That's what they want you to think. I'm just saying. It's good. Keep going. I'm having fun. We'll be out of here for 1 a.m. I promise. Don't worry. Look, common sense. You're common sense kind of people. I love you all very dearly. I try and be a common sense kind of man myself. But I've recently been reminded that we've really now lost all common sense. A friend of mine's been for a job interview, and the job interview was the last place of common sense, wasn't it? You had to be good at the job to get the job. Very, very simple. However, now they throw out 2 questions, don't they, in any job interview. They go, what are your strengths? What are your strengths? And you go, bah, I'm too early for work. You go, I work too hard. Then they say, what are your weaknesses? What are your flaws? And you go, I'm too early for work. I work too hard. So, ridiculous answer to a very ridiculous question. I'm a flawed man. When we're asked about our flaws, we should celebrate our flaws. This is how the job interview should go. You sit down, they go, Mr. Hipkiss, what are your flaws? I go, what are my flaws? Well, I've got a few flaws, here's my flaws. Sometimes I get really angry at the TV. Oh, at the news? No, I don't watch the news. I get angry at Netflix. Why do you get angry at Netflix? Well, I've got the $4.99 Netflix package. And if you've got the $4.99 Netflix package, this thing comes with adverts. However, the adverts are for cruises, Teslas and Rolexes. If I'm paying $4.99 for Netflix, this is coming from Argos, is it not? And then sometimes when I'm doing my food shopping at Asda, the little machine says, you spent £9.93. Do you want to add 7p for charity? I go, absolutely not. I do not want to do that. But you know what really gets me going, Henley and Arden, is when I'm doing my food shopping at Asda on a Saturday morning, and I am surrounded by a sea of pensioners who have had all week to do their food shopping. I dream dream of nothing more than pushing their brittle-boned, weak-fleshed carcasses down that escalator and ripping them from goddamn limb. Those are my flaws. Wondering where we stand on the job interview. Take photos of yourself shopping tomorrow morning and ask to do that for me. Here's a nice story for you. Here's a nice story. A bit of context to this. This is a factually true story. In this country now, you can die of a broken heart. You can have that put on your death certificate. So I say this because it happened to some neighbours of mine last Christmas. Okay, Norman and Irene. Norman was 96 when he died. Irene was 92 when she died. They'd been married 71 years. And on one Sunday, Irene died. Sunday after, Norman died. And I saw my neighbours and they said, you know, we think Norman has died of a broken heart. And I said, that's gorgeous. That's a real powerful metaphor for love. And I really do understand that. And that's a very beautiful thing. And then I really thought about it. And I thought, well, Norman didn't know what day the bins went out. Norman didn't know how to work the boiler. Norman did not know where to find the tin opener. Henley and Arden, what happened to Norman? Norman was a man. He was too lazy to carry on. It was easier for Norman to die in that moment than to try and figure anything out without Irene. And why did Irene die? She was trying to carry this saggy ass for 71 years. But don't you panic, because if you're like me, you're thinking the exact same thing. 2 less pensioners a dancer on a Saturday morning. Now, we're going to wrap this up. Why? Because we should have been home an hour ago, that's why. You've had some cheap booze tonight, and that's amazing. Good for you. You've had a good night. I don't drink. I've just gone past my 6 years sober date. Can you imagine this act while I was drinking? It was very, very confusing, much like I am now. So, this is what I say to people, okay? This is my sort of drinking analogy, just to explain about the sobriety journey. Pre-drinking, I was the chase level clever, okay? I could have took on all 5 chasers all at once. Now, me, after 10 years of addiction, tipping point clever. This is about where I sit on the IQ scale. Went to rehab in Belgium, of all places. Went to rehab in Belgium for one reason. I thought if this doesn't work out, waffles. Could have gone to rehab in Wolverhampton for £27,000. I don't know whether you're aware of Wolverhampton. You could buy Wolverhampton for £27,000, okay? You have a good day, have a drink. Have a bad day, have a drink. Wet the baby said, have a drink. Somebody passes away, you raise a toast. What do? Have a drink. It's all drinking. Doesn't work that way with drugs in our culture, does it? Doesn't work that way with drugs. None of you have ever had a phone call off your neighbour Ethel. Ethel says, you have to come round. I've got fantastic news. Let's go see this good news of Ethel. Sweet Jesus, Ethel, what are you doing? Well, our Simon's passed his driving test. And we're so proud. I've got a favourite saying with alcohol. Just shout it out for me when you know it. It's very easy to get away with having a drink. For example, if you're having a drink at 10 o'clock in the morning, you can easily say, well, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Beautiful saying. Now, think about the logic of that saying. That logic is flawed. You cannot apply that logic to any other scenario. You can't go, hey, Pete, what are you doing? Well, she's of legal age somewhere. No, don't work that way. Don't work that way. Right. It's Sunday morning now. I'm wrapping up. I had a lot of stuff to do for you, but maybe I can come back and we'll talk about it again. So, here's what I'll leave you with. My drinking, my alcoholism. A few different things caused it. Some of it had to do with childhood though, because we were really, really poor growing up. Looking back, this may have affected me, but I only realised that we were poor a few years back, because I remembered that we had a Woolworths Christmas every single Christmas. And what Woolworths would do for the poor people, if you remember, they would do knock-off versions of big branded toys. So the poor people could get in on the action. For example, instead of, say, Lego, Woolies had blocks that attach. Instead of Play-Doh, Woolies had Blue Tack. Barbie, Chantel. Now, pop quiz, let's end on a pop quiz. Anybody remember the #1 kids film of 1995, and there was a toy phenomenon attached to it? You couldn't get the toy anyway. An animated kids film. Yeah, Toy Story. It was the Buzz Lightyear craze. All the kids wanted a Buzz Lightyear, the parents tried to get a Buzz Lightyear. My parents did not bother. So, Christmas morning, 95, you know who I ran in to open up? Fred Space Days. You pressed this button, he went to infinity. And that's enough. We have not got the budget for infinity. I did this joke 90 times. I did 90 shows at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Arthur mentioned it earlier. 90 times. On show 89, I said to the crowd, anybody remember the #1 kids film of 1995? And a guy about here, he went, aye, I do, I know it. I know it, pick me, I know it, crack, bite me, I know it, I know it, I know it. I said, sure. What was the #1 kids film of 1995? He went, aye, it was Train Spotting. It's absolutely, it was Train Spotting. Come on, Timmy, choose life, choose a career. Let's go find that turkey down the toilet. Thank you very much.